Six Nations Special, Ken Owens will be Wales and England have not scored a try in Dublin since 2011. Well, then. Here we are. All that build-up, endless who do you think's gonna wins, should Italy be involved which France will turn ups and we say it every year but this is definitely the most competitive Six Nations evers. It is finally time for the action. Six Nations, well it's more than that as we will get onto. 3 matches a weekend and all the fire, fury, fun and frolics to come. The championship kicks off this Friday night, so here comes Scrum's the word with tales of big cats, spies, frozen Frenchmen and Guinean props to keep you informed and entertained. Let's get into it, yeah? SNEEZY STUART. It's not all glamour in rugby union. Despite big ol' macho players being jetted about to far-flung locations, there is always something to bring you back down to earth. During our exclusive interview with Stuart Hogg there was one thing we couldn't squeeze in that raised a smile. Talking about away trips, the Scotland and Glasgow fullback spoke of his not-so-idyllic visit to South Africa while playing for his club Glasgow Warriors in the Pro 14. Me and Ollie Price went on a safari trip and I have an allergy to cats, so my eyes blew up afterwards. He said. It was quite funny. It must include big cats too. I struggle with hay fever, I don't know whether it was the dry grass or the cats, but my eyes blew up, so I had to go for a shower to get it all washed out, antihistamine and all that. My mother-in-law used to have a cat called Dusty, so when I used to wake up at their house I was sneezing here, there and everywhere. The cat went missing. And it has never returned. So since then I have been fine. These guys can be human after all. We'll let you make your own jokes about Hogg and the Lions. To our mind we are above that, and think after 2017 he might still be a bit rawer. The sheriff's in town. It's the tale of 2 sheriffs on the opening weekend of the Six Nations, well a sheriff and a sheriff. First the sheriff of Carmarthen, Cannonball Ken Owens becomes Wales' most capped hooker when he clinks into the Stade de France and wins his 61st cap on Friday, passing Matthew Rees. Then it's our mate the Guinean sheriff's turn in Edinburgh on Saturday. Italian sheriff Traore, who we told you about the other week, is on the bench for the Azzurri for the Scotland game. When he comes on, and here's one to impress your mates in the pub, Guinea will become the 35th nation outside of the 6 to be represented in the championship via a player's berth. If your mates have not poured their pint over you already after that banger, see if they can get the rest. There's no way you'll know them all. Nations represented in the Six Nations by a player's berth: Albania, Algeria, Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Canada, Fiji, Germany, Guinea-Bissau, Holland, Hong Kong, India, Israel, Ivory Coast, Kenya, Martinique, Mauritius, Morocco, New Zealand, New Caledonia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Spain, Namibia, Tonga, Trinidad, USA, Vanuatu, Samoa, Wallis and Futuna, Zaire, Zambia. Big thank you to Statsman Extraordinaire Stu Farmer for those. And if your mates got Wallis and Futuna you'd better buy the next round. Friday Night Fever? Surely the only people who like Friday night matches, if anyone, are those who watch on the television. Wales play France in Paris to kick off the tournament. It'll be roaring, belting, boozy stuff, and could well be the match of the weekend, but it kicks off at 9 p.m. local time. What a horror show. For fans, Stade de France is a notoriously difficult ground to get to and from, and it's probably going to be close to sub-zero conditions, with even a potential flurry of snow. Luckily they have installed under-soil heating at the ground since the farce when the Ireland match there was called off just before kickoff in 2012, so at least it won't freeze over. Don't get us started on boring things like newspaper print deadlines, as we know you're not bothered with that. But take a minute to consider the players in all this. With a 9 p.m. kickoff we won't be at halftime until 9:45, then it'll be around an hour later when the match finishes. Next hits all the post-match palaver. Getting off the field might take them to 11 p.m., then it's media duties until midnight at least. Scrums the word understands Wales then have to attend an official post-match function in Paris, which they will leave the ground for at midnight. So by the time they have had their dinner with the suits, surely the last thing the teams enjoy doing, and have let the adrenaline subside from the match, it will be so late it's early. Factor in the fact that their preparations will have had to have been altered, they will have slept and eaten at strange times and had to worry about a test match all day. It is a shabby situation. Back in 2011 Sir Alex Ferguson said of TV channels dictating Premier League football kickoff times, "When you shake hands with the devil you have to pay the price." And the Welsh and French players will be forking out on Friday. England away from Irish Eye is not your traditional Six Nations preparation for either Ireland or England in the build-up to their huge match this Saturday. Both had the same idea and trained in Portugal. England have trained down on the Algarve near Villamara since Eddie Jones took over, and this time Ireland stationed themselves down the road and keen to do Lago. During our exclusive chat with Ireland captain Rory Best, he told us that the English and Irish were cozy playing buddies, but there was no time for Marco Bielsa-style spying. "We were on the same flight as Eddie Jones and Owen Farrell to Portugal," Best told us. "But apart from that, no, we didn't see them. They only went there last Thursday and we left on Friday. There was no overlap, thankfully. I don't think there was anyone sent down to each other's camp to have a look. It seems the in thing at the moment, with the Leeds United stuff. Our boys were rustling in the bushes on Wednesday, but more for golf balls." Chris checked in. Breaking news, Chris Robshaw is on the plane. Well, not quite to the World Cup in Japan just yet. British Airways, a New England rugby sponsor, we're promoting their 100th anniversary this week and put out a video on social media of celebrity boarding cards for a fictitious flight. Among them on the trip was Robshaw. This might be news to the man himself, who made his injury comeback last weekend for Harlequins, has lost his place to Mark Wilson and faces a fight to regain his shirt and make the flight that will take England to Japan in September. Then again, it was not the most outlandish of shouts by BA to pick the former England captain. We know Eddie Jones likes a curveball, but quite where Gary Oldman and Paul Omafaith are going to play we don't know. Three-pointer to Omos, he might be a nippy 9 now, but new Six Nations capped Omos Williams' first love was basketball. "I used to play in the Ronda," he told us this week ahead of his start for Wales in France. "All my family play basketball. I think playing it contributed to my skill set and ball handling. I played point guard for Wales under-16 at basketball, but there came a point when I had to decide between it and rugby. I had to give up one or the other when the Blues Academy called me in when I was about 18. Naturally, I went the way of rugby. But I think playing basketball has helped my rugby because it develops your handling skills. It's paid off for me." Anyone who saw his crazy offload for Cardiff Blues to Owen Lane against Lyon recently would agree. "I tried to draw the man and give it, but he, defender, was a bit quicker than I expected and I had to make a basketball pass," he added. "The most important thing as a 9 is to bring the tempo of a game up, to get on the ball as quick as you can, provide a quick service and kick well. Then, hopefully, other things will open up as the game goes on." The Blues for Les Bleus. 2 stating the bleeding obvious points to make about France this week. They're massive, and it's cold. There has been snow all week in Paris, and this website showed you some fine pictures of the French side training at their training base in Marcoussis. A few bobble hats. We noticed Romain Tamac and Danny Priso had one, but not a pair of gloves in sight. Good on them, we say. With a 150 street pack, surely the backs, if they get a little chilly, can just huddle round a monster and they'll be baking in no time. Just on that, we reckon this is the heaviest Tier 1 forward pack ever assembled. The caveats are for Fiji, Tonga and the recent Montpellier Marauders. Based on official French Union numbers, surely Antonio and Ituria are bigger. These are their weights. J. Poirot 18 Street 12 pounds, G. Gierato 16 Street 7 pounds, U. Antonio 22 Street 7 pounds, S. Valmehina 19 Street 9 pounds, P. Williamsy 21st 3 pounds, W. Lord 16 Street 3 pounds, Etruria 16 Street 11 pounds, L. Picamoles 18 Street 5 pounds. Fancy facing those in stinging conditions? Scrums. The word is attending and has packed every thermal in sight. 50 wins for Wales v France if they are victorious in Paris. This is the 97th meeting between the sides and Wales have won 6 of the last 7. 27 points needed by Morgan Parra to hit 200 in the tournament. Only Dimitri Yachvili, 217, has achieved the feat. 66 Six Nations tests for Sergio Paris. He will pass Brian O'Driscoll as the most capped championship player in history. 4 victories in a row for Scotland v Italy if they beat the Azzurri in Edinburgh. Scotland have never beaten one side 4 times on the bounce in the Six Nations. 2011 – the last time England scored a try in Dublin, only managing penalties in their last 3 visits to the Aviva Stadium. 2005 – the last time Ireland won 7 consecutive Six Nations matches. If they beat England they will match that record. No side has won back-to-back slams since France in 1997 and 1998 5 Nations. France v Wales Friday 8 p.m. Stade de France Live BBC 1 from 7:25 p.m. France, Medard, Penod, Fofana, Ntamak, Huguet, Lopez, Parra, Poirot, Gierato, C. Antonio, Valmehina, Williamsy, Lord, Etruria, Picamoles. Replacements: Marchand, Prisso, Bambo, Lambie, Aldrit, Sarin, Fickou, Meru. Wales: L. Williams, North, J. Davis, Parks, Adams, Anscombe, T. Williams, R. Evans, Owens, Francis, Beard, A. Jones, C. Navidi, Typuric, Moriarty. Replacements: D. W. Jones, Lee, Hill, Wainwright, G. Davis, Biggar, Watkin. Scotland v Italy Saturday 2:15 p.m. Murrayfield Live BBC 1 from 1:15 p.m. Scotland, Hogg, Seymour, H. Jones, Johnson, Kinghorn, Russell, Laidlaw, Dell, Msinelli, Nell, Toulis, Gilchrist, Skinner, Ritchie, Wilson. Replacements: Kerr, Body, Bergen, Graham, Strauss, Price, Hastings, Harris. Italy: Hayward, Esposito, Morisi, Costello, Campagnaro, Allen, Tebaldi, Lavati, Giraldini, Ferrari, Sissi, Budd, Negri, Stein, Paris. Replacements: Biggie, Traore, Pasquale, Ruzza, Tuivdi, Palazzini, McKinley, Padavini. Ireland v England Saturday 4:45 p.m. Aviva Stadium Live ITV from 4 p.m. Ireland: Henshaw, Earls, Ringrose, Aki, Stockdale, Sexton, Murray, Healy, Best, C. Furlong, Toner, Ryan, O'Mahony, Van der Flyer, Stander. Replacements: Cronin, Kilcoyne, Porter, Rue, O'Brien, Cooney, Carberry, Larmer. England: Daly, May, Slade, Tilagi, Noel, Farrell, Youngs, M. Vunapala, George, Sinclair, Itoge, Cruis, Wilson, T. Curry, B. Vunapala. Replacements: Cowan-Dickey, Gange, Williams, Laws, Hughes, Robson, Ford, Ashton.